she willed her mind to be as empty as the blue sky outside. If only she could pray as Judy could. Of the children still at home, Judy was the sensible one. Where her sister sought approval and tried to do everything right, Nancy questioned and tested. Warned not to touch a hot kettle one day, Judy clasped her hands behind her back and nodded, while Nancy sucked on the burn on her forefinger for a week. Everyone agreed on it. Judy was more obedient, better, less prone to hiding behind the smokehouse reading novels. Nancy forced herself to look at the woman in the bed. Anne Carey Randolph had grown thin these last few months. Her collarbones were hollowed out, the ropey muscles in her neck protruded. Sharp lines creased her cheeks and dragged at the corners of her mouth, unable to smile through the pain. Her eyes were closed. Mother had green eyes with a dark rim, eyes that could silence a room, discipline a slave, chastise a child, or warn a husband, but also glow with warm approval. Those eyes. More silence. Puffs of air and supplication escaped Judy's lips. Lizzie leaned in. They waited, like drops of rain quivering on a pane of glass. "She's gone," Molly said. That night, in their bedroom, Nancy and Judy scratched their names and the date, March 16, 1789, on the window pane before curling up in each other's arms, tears on their pillow and in each other's hair. The women of the family spent the first day sewing mourning clothes and to-ing and fro-ing between the kitchen and the storehouse. It would not do, Lizzie said, to let old Scylla think grief distracted the family from plantation business. Molly and Lizzie cleaned their mother's body and laid her out in the parlor, sending Nancy and Judy scuttling for pitchers of water, towels, combs, rosemary leaves, and tansy. More family and neighbors visited. In the gloom cast by dark walnut paneling, turned mirrors, and pulled drapes, Mother's face seemed to belong to someone else. Her high forehead, thin nose, and cheeks turned porcelain white. "Is she cold?" Nancy's 10-year-old brother John found his answer in the force of Father's hand across the back of his head. After that, they all stayed quiet. "Naturally, your father will remarry," Aunt Page declared as the family walked back to the house after Mother's interment. She spoke to Molly, but plenty loud enough for Nancy to hear. "With my sister in the ground, the older girls must look to the future." The Tuckahoe Plantation, one of Virginia's finest, sprawled over 25,000 acres of land dedicated to tobacco and wheat, worked by more than 200 slaves. Aunt Page, their mother's youngest sister, was a frequent visitor. She was younger even than Molly, and by far the most approachable of Nancy's many aunts and uncles. Why would he remarry? Nancy pulled her gaze from the bare fields waiting for tobacco seedlings and saw the older women exchange glances. "It's not a stupid question. Patsy's father has not. Apart from the obvious reasons. Or are you too young to comprehend me? I'm not ignorant, if you say so." Nancy pulled up short, her hands on her hips. "Please use the brains God gave you," her aunt said. "Think of the plantation. What happens now? Who looks after the slaves? Who takes the key for the storehouse? Who cares for the sick and knows when to call the doctor? Who runs the dairy? Tends the vegetable garden? The smokehouse?" Nancy rolled her eyes. Mother had never set a foot in the vegetable garden, but her expression only set Molly off. "Our aunt is right. Who makes sure the chickens and the pigs are fed? Who checks the chimneys are swept and the glasses clean? Who salts the meat and dips the candles? Who counts the linens and orders the clothing for the 5 of you still at home? Every plantation needs a mistress. Tuckahoe is no different. What do you say, Judy?" Nancy looked over her shoulder.